Aloha, Shamans, and welcome to our little corner of the galaxy here in this dimensional space called EarthStar Spiritual Center in Greensboro, North Carolina, United States of America. And we are live tonight. It is Wednesday, July 10th, 2024. We are Dale and Jeanne Stacy, and we are your hosts tonight. We are both the Abbots of EarthStar Spiritual Center. So thank you to all our local shamans joining us, all the shamans from around the world, all our galactic council, and all the folks that are helping to make planet Aloha. So our topic tonight will be another exciting installment and informative of Talking Stick with our wise shaman and intuitive healer and life coach, Miss Heidi Fire Owl. So Heidi, thank you for joining us today. I know you got a busy day always. So thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me, you guys, always.
Yes. And we have all in the show notes, you'll find contact information for EarthStar and all the things we mentioned tonight, and also for contact info for Heidi. And remember, even though we may be speaking about some healing modalities, we are in no way licensed physicians or medical professionals from that sense. So this is just strictly for education and information, and we're just sharing the spiritual practices of many cultures from around the world. So thank you for being here, Heidi, and sharing all that wonderful wisdom. Good. All right, well, let's jump right into it. So let's get right to some slides. So here we are. It is July 10th, 2024. Simply Shaman. It is a talking stick with Heidi Fire Owls. Thank you, Heidi, making yourself available on Wednesdays. For now, at least. And we are EarthStar Spiritual Center. So we are a multi-faith church online right now for Living Aloha. Been doing this since 2002. Our core principles or values are on the left, Aloha. That meaning to us, all loving God, love, oneness, heart path, and as above, so below. So tonight, as we start another installment, let's do a quick review of all the wonderful wisdom that Heidi shared with us last week. And if you'd like to see any of those shows, just make sure you go to the EarthStar Spiritual Center YouTube channel and click on the live link, the LIVE link. And there you'll find all the ones that we do for Simply Shaman. All right, sweetheart, go ahead and do a review for last week.
So this is not everything that Heidi shared with us last week, but it's just some of the little things that I took notes on. I'm a note taker. So I think one of the first things that she said was that the healer is within. So the healer is within us. And our belief system keeps us from healing. We are not supposed to be sick. Have an innate ability to heal. We are designed perfect. We can heal what we want to heal. And the magic is in the yolk. So we were talking about food and eggs at that point, but the magic is in the yolk. And she also has touched on the lymphatic system, the endocrine system, and the adrenals. And if you want more information about what Heidi shared with us last week, then please watch last week's show. And one of the last things she said was, remember, we are not broken.
Yes.
So thanks, Heidi, for that.
Outstanding, love. Good review.
Yeah.
All right. So, and we are going to be a live chat. So if you have any questions, anything about our topic tonight, it's going to be about intuition and our health. So if you have any questions about that, then please let us know what they are. And also just let us know who you are and where you're listening from. All right. So let's check right in with Miss Heidi, and we'll go right into it. And take it away, Miss Heidi.
Okay, so tonight I wanted to just talk about the topic of intuition, and I titled it "Coming to Your Senses: Intuition for Health and Wellness," because what I have learned from experience, my own personal experience, and from working with my clients, is that you are, again, I said this last week, and just like Jeanne said in the notes, the healer is within. You have the ability to heal yourself. The body is designed to heal if we give it what it needs, what it's asking for. And how do we know what the body needs and what it's asking for? And that's what a lot of people ask me. They're like, how do I know? I don't even know what I need. And I say, you absolutely do know what you need. You are the one that knows what you need more than anyone on this earth. So I figured that a good place for us to start before we get into any more topics on Wednesday about healing is to start at the beginning with how to cultivate your intuition, and to explain just a little bit about intuition. And then we can do a little exercise to try to see, if you can, to help you find which method of intuition that you're more proficient at. And also understand that you might have more than one way of intuitively tapping into information. Personally, I've been working with intuition, or my intuition, for I think probably since I was 3. So I actually have a variety of intuitive gifts that I have cultivated and that I use, depending on what the situation is, depending on what I'm trying to find out, the information, all of that kind of stuff. So coming to our senses, intuition for health and wellness. I'm just explaining. Intuition comes from the Latin word, and I have a hard time saying, intuer, and that actually means to see, which I can't see right now. So
thank you for the levity. That's great.
I take my glasses off. So intuition is just simply our inner knowing. And every single one of us are intuitive. We all are gifted this intuitiveness. So when we were created, that is part of the gifts that we were given, is intuition, is at our inner knowing. And all animals have it, all insects have it. In fact, bats and spiders are 2 of the most gifted insects on this earth to be able to detect things for their survival in their environment. So spiders actually have 4 eyes, but even though they have 4 eyes, they actually cannot see very well. And how they are able to detect a threat or detect their prey, hitting their web, is they have so many little tiny hairs all over them. So if you actually look at a spider under a microscope, it's pretty freaky, but it's also pretty cool. I mean, they have like 1 trillion little tiny hairs on their body, and every single one of those hairs is attached to a nerve ending. So can you imagine? I mean, that's a lot of information that they get, and bats, bats are able to see at night. And, so they have this incredible gift of, their navigation at night. And that's through their sight, like basically almost like geothermal or something. But so we all, every single one of us, and everything on this earth has been gifted with this inner knowing. Even plants, there's studies that have been done on plants. They know when you're getting ready to clip them, and they've recorded sounds of them when people are clipping them and stuff like that. So intuition is our inner knowing, and we all have this intuitiveness in us. Intuition is the information that we have access to that helps guide us in directions that are most beneficial for our highest growth. So basically, our intuitiveness and the information that we get from the intuitiveness is basically to help us in some way. It's to help give us direction, to help us maybe avoid danger or figure out what to do with something, or, if we need to call somebody, sometimes we'll get an intuitive hit that, we need to call somebody. We just have this feeling. That is intuitiveness. And then you call them and they're sick, or they've been missing you or something. So that is all intuition. So intuition is information that we have access to that helps guide us in directions that are most beneficial for our highest growth. Intuition can be cultivated through being present, through meditation, and through practice. Intuition is our God-given gift, and it's given to everyone. It's our sixth sense that enables us to survive through the abilities to hear, see, feel, smell, taste, and know. And those are our senses. So when I say coming to our senses, intuition for health and wellness, I am talking about cultivating your abilities to hear, see, feel, smell, taste, and know in order for you to get information that's beneficial for your highest growth.
Outstanding. Very good.
Do you guys have anything to add?
No, that's a great slide. Got lots of great information on that. Yes, that's wonderful. All righty.
So there are 6 types of intuitive abilities. And again, like I said, some of us have more than one. And if you just have one right now, don't worry, you can cultivate the rest of them. So
yes.
You have all of these. It's just that it may not be, you just may get your information in a different way than others. So clair, when we say clairaudience or clairvoyance or any of that, clair means clear. So the first type of intuitive ability is clairaudience, and that is clear hearing. That's us using our ears to get information. The second one is clairvoyance, and that is clear seeing. That is information that we get through our inner sight or our mind's eye. Some people call it their third eye. Some people call it their mind's eye. That comes in pictures and things that you see. So the third one is clairsentience, and that is clear feeling. That's an empathic. And we feel that in our body. So sometimes you'll get a feeling in your chest, or also too when you're putting hands on people, when you're feeling them, touching them, and then you can feel their emotions, or you can feel their disease, like things in their body that may be stagnant, some stagnant energy. That would be clairsentience. So clairalience is the intuitive ability with clear smell. And that's the ability to use your nose to smell things. So smells, you may be somewhere and you may get the smell of, or you may be around a person or in a certain area or something, and you might get the smell of a cigarette smoke or a certain perfume that nobody's smoking and nobody's wearing perfume, and that will give you information if you continue on the path of tapping into that. A clairgustinance is the ability with clear tasting, and that involves your mouth. So sometimes you can be sitting somewhere, or again, you'll be out somewhere or something. You could get a taste in your mouth. You're not eating anything. You're not sucking on any kind of lozenge or anything, and you get a certain taste in your mouth that's going to give you information. And then the last one is claircognizance. Claircognizance. And that is the clear knowing. And that involves your mind and your spirit. And so that is, if you have claircognizance, it's like you just know. And it's one of those things where if somebody asks a question and then you just blurt the answer out and they're like, how did you know that? And you're like, heck if I know, I just knew it. That would be claircognizance. And also too, if you just know things. So these are the 6 types of intuitive abilities. And again, if you think about your life and you think about things that have happened in your life, and you can think about like certain circumstances where you can say, gosh, I knew that, or I sensed that, or I felt that, or yeah, I remember when I was here and I smelled that. That kind of will give you a clue as to what your intuitive ability is now. And again, all 6 of these, we all have them. No one on this earth is like special. I hate to break it to you, but we're not special in the way that we're the only one with this gift. We are not. People always tell me, I wish I'm clairvoyant. I'm pretty much all of these. But just because I have cultivated and I have done this for so long, and I completely believe that circumstances in my life have I've experienced certain traumas and things to help me continue to cultivate my intuitive abilities. Because I would not be here today if I did not have clear cognizance, if I did not have clear sentience. It has saved my life on several occasions. So I can tell you that it will benefit you definitely to your highest good to learn and cultivate all of your intuitive abilities.
Oh, that's the clairalience, the smelling thing. Whenever Jeannie's mom passed, she was a smoker. So when we were in the home afterwards, and even here at our home, whenever I smell smoke, I know that it's her. So, like you mentioned earlier about smelling the smoke, so if I smell it, I'll say something to Jeannie like, "Your mom's here," and then she'll go out on the porch and talk to her and hang out.
Nice.
With her.
Yes. That's so beautiful.
And I think for me, as I look at the list and think about my learning styles, I'm a visual kinesthetic type person.
Yeah.
Clairvoyance and clairsentience, those are really strong with me. It's like those probably the 2 strongest. And those other ones, I think I use them quite a bit, but I think the clairvoyance and clairsentience probably my strongest gifts for that. So.
Yeah. What about you, Jeannie?
Well, I think it's I'm auditory, so I
yeah,
would be clairaudience. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. You also feel things and know things.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You're very claircognizant. Yeah.
Yeah, because I like that number 6, that claircognizance, and that's a nice one because yes, like that mind, body, spirit thing comes together. Mm-hmm. You just know something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
people
how do you know that? I don't know. I just know it.
And people just, the biggest mistake that we have with intuition, and it's not really a mistake, but the biggest, block we have with cultivating our intuitive abilities is questioning. Our belief, again, there's the block of belief because we don't believe. We don't, we tell ourselves, oh, I didn't really see that, or I didn't really, whatever. last week or the week before last, I woke up in the morning and I have a very strong connection with animals. So I do animal communication, and I had this download. I had a little intuitive hit, that my neighbor's dog, Tibby, was going to be put to sleep. And so I asked Jeff, I said, have you heard from Hanan, which is our neighbor? I said, because I feel like she's going to put Tibby to sleep today. And he was like, no, everything's fine. And then he actually came home from work that night, and she did have to put Tibby down that day. So, when you get information, I always like to say it out loud, or I believe in the next slide, I have a little list that will tell people. But one of the things that you can do is to keep an intuitive journal, because that helped me in the beginning a lot to not think I was crazy. When I was getting, when I was getting intuitive hits, I was like, okay, people are going to think I'm crazy. They already think I'm a nut. And so, do I share this or not? So before I actually really felt comfortable, like sharing, things that I was getting with people or asking questions about it before it would happen, is I just kept a journal. I kept an intuition journal is what I called it. And I just wrote stuff down as it came up. And then as things came about, then I just wrote a little thing in there basically saying, yep, this happened, just to confirm and validate it to myself. And that helped a lot. It helped me really have a lot of confidence to trust that. So, so before you go into, basically like trying to tap into using your gifts of intuition, I like to say a little prayer, and I like to say a prayer to clear negativity and to ask, for an open heart pathway, and to only allow love and light in, and to only allow information to come in that's for the highest good. So I firmly believe, a lot of people have these ideas about intuition and psychic awareness, or, whatever you want to call it. A lot of people have these, ideas that it's witchcraft, that it's, divination, that it's, whatever. They have a million different names for it. And I just explain to everyone that I believe for myself, because I do pray and I do ask for only love and light, and only information from the light and from beneficial, for beneficial information to come in for the highest good, that I believe that all of my information comes from God and nowhere else. So, or God's source, or creator, or great spirit, or whatever you want to call it. But I believe that the information that I get comes from the light. And so you just want to ground yourself and just really make sure that you just say a little prayer, to clear the negativity, to open your heart pathway, and to enter, from a heart space. And then, go into meditation, to open and come to your senses. And then, make a list to identify which sense or senses are your strongest. Keep an intuition journal, and then do body scans or pulse checks to validate or to practice cultivating your intuition. So one of the things that I like to do is teach people how to test their products, or food, or drinks, or you can do it with anything. But mainly when people come for healing, they had come with medications. And so what I do is I teach them how to intuitively tap into their body, tap into whatever it is that they are, even water, because not all water is beneficial for this person or that person. So every person's body is different biochemically. So what is okay for one person to consume may not be okay for another person to consume, and also at different times. So this week you might be okay eating or drinking this one thing, but then something in your body changes chemically for whatever reason. It could just be a negative emotion that you have, or worry, or anything that changes this balance or imbalance in your body. And then this week, that food or that drink or that medication or that vitamin, a supplement, that herb, it's creating a toxic effect or a non-beneficial effect. So one of the things that you can do, and what I teach people, is to take the whatever it is. I have a little lozenge here. I'll just use this. So what you can do is you can just go into the prayer that I said, just to get drop into your heart space, clear away negativity, do all that. Ask for only love and light and information that's for the highest good. And then once you're clear and you have a clear signal, because you want to clear your mind of any attachment that you have to what it is that you're asking about. So in Native American teachings, we call that a hollow bone. So you just really want to let go of ego, and you want to, and you know what ego is? Easing God out, right? So we want to make sure that we're in our God space, our heart space, and that's where we're coming from when we're asking questions about things, to tap into our intuition. So what I would do is I would take something, and I'll just take this lozenge here, and I would hold it after I get into that space and say my prayer and do my little meditation and clear myself. And even so, if I wanted to eat this, that would not give me a clear signal when I'm asking an intuitive question about whether this is, whether my body, this is okay for my body right now. And you want to set a clear intention. So if I actually wanted this, it wouldn't work, because my ego is saying, and I'm in my head space and not my heart space. So I'm not trying to get a real answer. I'm trying to sway the information. And we can do that too. So there's a whole nother aspect of that. So it's just really important to clear yourself and to, just come from a heart-centered space and not have an attachment to whatever it is that you're wanting to know. So I would take this, and you can do one of two things. And the easiest way for me to teach somebody first is through teaching them to feel. And so I would have them hold whatever it is that they're wanting to know about, and I would have them check their pulse, because you can feel your pulse. So I would have them check their pulse, and I would have them ask whatever it is that they wanted to know. Is this beneficial for me to eat right now? And then I would just close my eyes and I would check my pulse. If you have a rapid pulse, that's going to be an indication that your body is feeling stressed about it. So you're not going to want to have that right now. Does that make sense?
Yes, makes sense. What would you recommend, checking the carotid pulse or the wrist? Which would be better?
Some people, it's whatever you feel. And honestly, some people actually can just sit And if you get yourself into a very relaxed meditative state, you can actually feel your pulse, just physically feel your pulse while you're sitting there. I don't know. I guess sometimes, like if you get overheated or if you're just in a really quiet space, you can hear and feel your heartbeat. You just feel your pulse. So when you get really good, or even if you're not and you just want to keep practicing that, you'll know right away that this is happening, because you'll just feel that, rhythm. And if your pulse is rapid, that is an indication that your body is stressed. And that would mean that I would not have this right now.
Yeah.
So you can do that with anything, a medication, vitamins, food, anything to drink. And that will cultivate your, your sense of clear feeling. And then you can, you can do that with other stuff.
Yeah, I like the pulse thing. I know there's other ways people can do muscle testing things, but I think I really like that little pulse thing, because that would be so easy to just reach up and just grab the carotid or the wrist, or like you said, just sit still and just feel it. Yeah.
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 I mean, it's just the easiest way. I tried to teach people the sway test. If you're holding something and you're standing there, and you sway forward, or your body moves at all when you're holding that after you ask the question, that would indicate that your body's stressed, and that's not such a good thing to consume. But a lot of people don't feel that subtle movement. Sometimes, if they're standing in front of you, you can see that, but some people just don't feel that. So when we're talking about coming to our senses, we're talking about, teaching people the easiest ways to start with, like feeling, seeing, smelling, tasting, knowing. And so what I start with is, because most people, the feeling, that's the easiest thing for a lot of people, to do and to start with, is to feel. Because people will sit in meditation, if you're trying to do a clairvoyance exercise, people will sit in meditation and they'll just be all in their head about all kinds of stuff, and they're conjuring up this stuff, and they're like, well, I didn't see it, I didn't, I don't know, I didn't, because I'm asking, did you see shapes or figures? That is the start of cultivating your mind's eye. Cultivating your third eye is really just, focusing on what what visions are coming. And more times than not, when you start cultivating your clairvoyance, it's going to look like a kaleidoscope. Remember those like kaleidoscope things, those really cool little tools, little toy things? Those are so cool. So it's going to start to look like that at first, but some people aren't going to see anything. They're just going to see a black void. And so it gets a little frustrating for people in the beginning, trying to cultivate that clairvoyance. And that's the one that most people want, because they just think it's the coolest. It's like when you do the animal spirit guides and a person gets like an ant, and they're like, what the hell? Why didn't I get the wolf? Wow, just because that's the way it is. It's not that one is any better than the other. It's just, this is what it is.
That's the lesson for today.
Yes. So I just find that it's most simple to start with the feeling and the pulse, because, you're able to actually, everybody has a pulse. And if you don't, you wouldn't be doing the exercise. Yeah. So
we got other things to worry about.
Yes. Yeah. So I wanted to start everybody with with learning how to tap into your senses and explaining what they are. Just because when we get further into learning about the different phases of disease and the different phases of healing, it's one of the tools. It's the best tool because it's the only tool that is going to give you the most accurate information about what your body needs, what it's asking for, and what it's telling you not to put in it, or not to think, or whatever.
And
So
folks,
cultivating your
trust their body,
intuition.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
They have to trust their body. Trust
Yeah.
what you're receiving. Yes.
Yeah.
And I really like what you said about, program everything so that the information is coming from light. It's light information. So it's coming from source.
Yes.
Just to program your energy field to create that. And way, all the information will be coming from source, from light.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For the highest good.
Yes. That's wonderful. And so let me go back to that slide then, just to make sure we got everything. Yes. I think we're good with that. That's wonderful. Thank you. And of course, if you're watching later on replay, just pause the video if you need to write that down, because that's some good information there. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Well, thank you, Heidi. That was wonderful. Oh my goodness.
Thank you so much.
Wow, maybe 40 minutes went by like it was 5 minutes.
It sure did.
Well, that's great. And that should be a wonderful foundation to help people when we come up with the next few shows and we move into more of the healing aspect, the healing of mind, body, and spirit. So, that's wonderful to have that.
That was great, Heidi. Thank you so much. I always learn so much from you.
I know.
Oh, thank you guys so much. You've taught me a lot too.
So I'm glad there's one of those clear things for smelling. That's great because I always knew I was smelling Jeannie's mama's cigarette smoke. So
no, I smell my mom's perfume all the time, and heck, we talked about my sense of smell today and how I just knew somebody was spraying some funky stuff somewhere. I knew that.
And they were.
And they were.
Yes. And they were. Yeah, no, it's really interesting. I actually learned how incredible my sense of smell has become walking in the woods with being able to locate fox dens. And I just thought that was, when I did it the first time, I was like, I love this, And so now I have to I'm like, oh, but I got to tell you that it can be a curse too. Okay. Because everywhere I go, if somebody has perfume or a plug-in, like those toxic plug-in things or something, I smell it before I even enter the building. So everyone around me is like, what in the world is up with you? Your smell. I'm like, I smell everything. I smell people. I smell everything. It's so, watch what you ask for
all those chemicals
when you're cultivating your intuitive skills.
Well, that's wonderful. Well, thank you so very much for
thank you
Wednesday night and sharing this freely with people. So thank you, and folks in the audience and on replay, just make sure you go to the show notes and you'll find the contact information for Heidi. Should you have any follow-up questions or anything of that nature, and also I've got a list of books that Heidi has shared from past videos, and I've got a link there also. Okay. All right, well, have a wonderful week, Heidi. Thank you for being here with us.
Thank you, guys.
Great weekend plan coming up, and great next couple of days. That'd be wonderful.
Yeah.
All right, folks. Well, thank you for joining us tonight on this beautiful Wednesday night in hot southern North Carolina. Goodness, it is definitely summer. So thank you for being here. I hope you have a wonderful week. Remember, we love you. Remember, we're shamans of Aloha, and that means we try to be the love in every moment. So remember in 3D, see, hear, and feel the love in every moment. Switch to a 4D perspective so you can sense, feel, and know the love in every moment. And then switch to a 5D perspective so that you can be the love in every moment. Because that's what it's going to take for us to create collectively this thing called Planet Aloha. So that means
you just went through coming to your senses.
Oh, good. Excellent. See there? See, I listened to you. Okay, good. Right. So we're trying to create Planet Aloha. That's the plan. So keep that in the forefront of the conscious mind. That's what we want to do. But that means we have to be the Aloha in every moment. All right. Well, let's do a pow and we'll close out. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Pow. Okay. Thank you so very much. We love you all.
Thank you, guys.
Tonight. Have a great week. And remember, be the Aloha in every moment. All right. Take care. Aloha.